Well, I had time to calm down. Fortunately for me, in this video, I don't sound crazy or nothing like that. But I don't even know where to begin on this game. I mean, um, Lions lost to the Eagles at home, and I made the video last week. I said, you know what, we probably weren't going to win this game, and but I didn't know it was going to be the conditions it was going to be, snowing and all that shit. And but what was really a huge downer in this whole thing, it seems like to me, when it comes to this end, when it comes towards the end of the season, seems like the referees across the board make calls that are phantom calls. And they made a phantom call in the Cleveland game. They made a couple phantom calls in the Detroit game, and they probably make a bunch of other phantom calls in a bunch of other games. And you had Green Bay win today, and Aaron Rodgers is coming back. They would have to win out. The Detroit Lions have to win out, and the Bears have to win out. If all three teams won out, Detroit Lions are the only ones that can control their destiny and they can win the division. We have to win. We have to beat Baltimore. We have to beat Minnesota, and I don't know what the other team is, but Baltimore looked stupendous in that come from behind win against Minnesota. So we got Baltimore, Minnesota, and I forgot what the other team we play. But I want to talk about this game. Both teams were. It's snowing for both teams. And so there's no excuses. It's snowing for one team. It's snowing for the other. The Philadelphia Eagles, they were a spread offense team, using all the field. And Detroit Lions, had like 7, 8 fumbles in the game. I mean, there's no discipline. There's no game planning by Jim Schwartz. I mean, this guy is one screw loose of a full nut job. He gets down to the end zone and they get pushed back and they try to kick a field goal or an extra point, and you're not going to make it. You can't kick an extra point in slushy snow 6, 8 inches on the field. It's not going to happen, so why even try it? And the referees in this game, unfucking believable. They call, and see, listen, there's people on Twitter they get me like the biggest dumbasses in the world. They're like, oh, what about your defensive line? Nick Farley and Ndamukong Suh are probably the best dynamic duo in the NFL. And it's snowing. It's 6 to 8 inches on the field. Nick Farley goes in on Foles and barely doesn't even touch him. He's on the 50-yard line. It was the 2nd and 10, and they give him a personal foul. And you can go back and watch the game, watch the penalty replay. The guy didn't even barely touch him. I mean, he just with his hand, and they called a personal foul on that. And then we get down to the end zone. We're up 14-0, right? And football is about emotion and momentum. This is what people don't realize when they say, oh, what about your defensive line? It's about momentum and emotions. And when you have people that are playing their ass off, and then you have refs who obviously are controlled by the league because these are phantom calls across the NFL that just seemingly go off on teams that are in playoff runs, against who they want to be in there. Because obviously that Nick Farley, and there was not one holding call on all of the snow. But for some reason, when we had the Eagles down on the 50-yard line, it was about 2nd and 10, they call a personal foul. Then the Eagles score. They catch momentum. They're like, I mean, what am I supposed to do in the snow? How are you supposed to stop a 350-pound guy from touching a quarterback and of Snow. Like, how is it going to be a personal foul? How is he going to even get hurt? I just couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. And then they get down there. They stop them and their two-point conversion. And this is probably the worst call on NFL Sunday, next to the call about Calvin Johnson catching a touchdown against Chicago, and they took that one back 3 years ago. They called a holding penalty on Ndamukong Suh on a pass play. And he's clearly jumping up, trying to knock the ball down. How are you holding when both of your hands are up in the air, trying to knock a pass down? On a pass play, a defensive lineman getting called for a holding call on a pass play. And a crucial two-point conversion, which changed everything. They shouldn't even scored that touchdown. The referees totally changed the momentum of this game, and then football's about emotions. And like when you got Ndamukong Suh and Nick Farley, like, well, fuck it, they don't want us to win this game. So I mean, they got deflated, and they killed us. And then after that, they just started blocking down on us. McCoy started running, cutting cross. I mean, Reggie Bush could have did the same thing. I'm highly disappointed in the fact that, he strained his calf. I mean, the guy didn't want to play because it's snowing. I mean, how are you supposed to be a leader if you won't lead your team and it's snow? Come on, for God's sakes, it's pro football. I just can't believe it. I mean, I just, I didn't, if the weather was probably different, we probably wouldn't have won the game regardless. But the point being is that we were in a position to win this game, and with Jim Schwartz, terrible coaching, and the fact that the referees helped the Eagles, and the fact that they adjusted Chip Kelly and they adjusted in the fourth quarter. It was a perfect storm, and we should have won that game. Huge game balls out to Ross on special teams. He's amazing. 2 run-back touchdowns. I mean, he couldn't be stopped. Even they kicked it to him again, and he ran it back almost to the 50-yard line. And I think they called that back because of bullshit holding call. I mean, there were so many calls in this game against the Lions. I don't even know where to start. And just dumbass luck. And Reggie Bush not being in there. And the more and more I think about this game, I think the Lions are just purely playing on talent. And I don't think Jim Schwartz has any type of game plan whatsoever or how to play. I mean, Jim Schwartz basically got beat by a college coach with a second-string quarterback. It's so bad. And the defensive line, I can understand why Ndamukong Suh wants to slam everybody and punch everybody, because it's just terrible what these refs do to him. I mean, of course you're going to be pissed off. And it's like, just let these guys play football, please. It's terrible. So, the Lions are going to have to win out. They're going to have to beat 3 teams. I know Minnesota and Baltimore is another team. I don't know what the last team is. But they have to win out. And they're three tough games. And they got to go. They're going to have to go 10-6 because Aaron Rodgers is coming back. They're going to win 3 games. And the Bears, they're probably not going to win all 3. I know they got Dallas and they got Green Bay on their schedule. So they're probably not going to win out. But it's going to come down to, if the Lions lose one more game, I think Green Bay is going to take the division. And this is going to be a huge, huge disappointment. And to be honest with you, I mean, I hope the Lions lose the rest of their games. I know it's a bad thing to say, but Jim Schwartz is a terrible coach. And I'd rather just get rid of him now and just be like, you know what? Just get it over with. Get rid of him. He is a terrible coach. He's just terrible. This team lacks so much discipline, fumbling the ball. They just don't care. And it's like half the team is playing their ass off, and the other team doesn't give a damn, and it's just killing me. And investing emotions into this team is just, it's frustrating. I can't even get mad anymore about it. I just, it's like the refs are against our team and killing our momentum. And then I guess that's the NFL's way of doing things. Whatever viewing place, they got the numbers. They could look at where they're getting the most views from. They're going to put those teams in the playoffs. And that's just the way it is. So that's unfortunate. Or people have favorite teams they like to watch. Lions play Monday Night Football, Baltimore. And Baltimore's playing damn good right now. And I don't see them winning that game. So this might come down to like the last 2 games of the season. And I don't know what's going to happen. As I see it right now, the Lions are 50-50 to make the playoffs. I'm just disappointed. I'm highly disappointed. I think Jim Schwartz is terrible. And because of the team, because he's a terrible coach and the team lacks discipline, that's why the refs and the NFL, don't give us the calls. Because we don't respect the game. So it is what it is, man. They're just not going to tolerate it. It's a fucking shame, but that's the way it goes. Anyways, fuck out of here. I'm done.